All right, friends, welcome back to another episode here at The Growing Pro, where we hope to share 20 plus years of experience within the entertainment industry as a whole. At least something that we share, we hope, will help bring value to your life, your career, to help you circumvent the process of learning and losing money and all of this, so that you can get to a point where you're making money with your craft faster. Because although, yes, art is art and art is beautiful. Oh my gosh, my phone is going off the hook. I'm sorry. I always forget to turn it off when I'm making a video. Ultimately, yes, art is art. And we make art for art's sake very often. And we want to create something beautiful and not have it be driven by money. Because when we take the money out of it, it creates something different, something entirely different. When it's just art for art's sake. But at the end of the day, we all have bills to pay. So I wanted to share something with you here while I'm sitting behind the board here working on a little project. And I'm going back. I was about 19 or 20 years old. I was playing lead guitar in a band that was tracking for a radio session. A huge artist came into the studio. We were just the background band that they were using for this artist. And non-disclosure, I can't say who the artist is, but a huge artist, Grammy Award-winning artist, came into the studio. And we knew he was coming. We didn't know what to expect, that's for sure. He was a lot shorter than I was expecting. He was still a badass. And he comes into the studio and we're there to support him. That's all we're there for. We're supporting what he's there to do. But we're in this $5 million studio, and there's one engineer. He's the lead engineer, and he's working the entire board, all the setup. He had 2 assistants, and then there was 1 producer there. And then we were there as musicians. Well, once we tracked our instruments, we sit in the control room, and we're out chilling out on the leather couch, eating pizza and drinking soda. I mean, we were 19, 20, so soda. And the lead engineer, who's, again, doing everything, gets a very important phone call and he has to run out. So he's like, I gotta take this call. I can't let this call go. He runs out, but the artist that was there, and rightfully so, got a little pissed. He's like, I'm the priority here right now. I'm tracking. And yes, I don't think that was like conceited of him. I think that that was the case. He was the priority. That was his session. So he got a little pissed and he's like, I have a line I want to redo. I want to redo this line. And he points to the screen, the Pro Tools, tracking. And he's like, I want to redo that right there. And I want to do it right now because my voice is feeling good and strong. And I have that, that grit that I want to get in there. And everybody looks around and goes, does anybody know how to run the board? And I go, well, I do. I can run the board. Because even at 18, 19, I had been paying attention to everything. Watching everyone. No matter who it was, I watched what everyone did. I watched how everyone set up every single microphone, how they mic'd the drum kit, how they mic'd the bass cabinets, and then mic'd the bass in the room to get the slap from the strings. And I watched everything. And I was like, yeah, I can run the board. He's like, get on the board. I was like, okay. And he's the type of artist where you don't say no to. He's that monumental. And okay, I'll get on the board. So I get on the board. He's like, all right, punch me in here. And I go, okay, hold on, flip, here comes your click. 3, 2, 1, here's your punch, punch in. He tracks it, he nails it, nails the freaking take in one take, nails that take, and it was like, wow, yeah, that was it. That was the take, that's what that was missing. He's like, all right, play it back. So I go, play back, he listens to it, he's like, yeah, I like that, all right, mute this, turn this up a little bit here, this, and he starts giving me instruction. Well, thank God above, I knew everything about that board. So I'm muting different instruments while running the faders, which are these. These are faders. While mixing, blending in 6 different sets of speakers, because mind you, this is the highest end studio you can imagine, with a massive array of subwoofers on the bottom. He's like, no, it's too much bass. I want the subs out. I want just the center sub. I want to hear, then I want to hear on the NS10s. Okay, bam, click it on the NS10s. Okay, he's listening, and man, this dude had an incredible ear. That's why he was so successful, is so successful. That's why he's legendary. That's why his tracks are amazing. And for a good part of a lot of his work, he is self-produced. So I isolate the NS10s, which are a certain type of speaker, not these, Yamaha NS10s. I isolate the NS10s so he can just hear it bare. Then he's like, all right, add in our mids. So I add in our mids, and he's like, all right, give me a little sub, give me the center sub, and he's just taking it all in. And every single bit of instruction that he gave me, that he told me to do, everything he told me to do, I was able to do. That's not to say, oh, I'm so great, I knew all this. That's to say I paid attention. And any one of you out there can be in that same exact position someday. And you never know when. You never know when that position's going to come. Whether it's in a music studio, whether it's on a set, whether it's running a cinema camera, you never know. No, I've seen a lot of people get fired on spot, actually. I've seen a lot of people get kicked off set. I've seen a lot of people get kicked out of studios. There could come a time where a position opens up out of nowhere very quickly, and that position needs to be filled, and that just so happens to be 10 positions higher than what you're currently doing. And when they say, who can do this? And you have to immediately say, I can, and do it competently, that could lead to the rest of your life being different. And that moment in the studio where I was able to run everything that artist asked for and do every little nuance that he wanted done, to the point where he's like, that's too much verb on the snare. Take off a little bit of verb on the snare. I mean, he pinpoint. His ears were pinpoint accurate. He heard everything. But I had to be able to do everything his ears heard. And fortunately for me, in that moment I could. Because I was prepared, even at 19 years old. And that moment in life is what opened up a huge opportunity for me the following year to work with one of the most legendary artists of all time. That moment in time, that one opportunity that came out of nowhere. And when the lead engineer came back into the room, he just stood there, and the artist goes, pushed him back, like didn't even want him to come back in. He's like, he's doing it, he's doing it, he's doing it. Because he didn't want to be taken out of that realm that he was in that moment. He didn't want anything to interrupt that very moment that artist was in. Because whether you know it or not, musically, just like with video, there are times when you can't write a script worth crap. And then there are other times when everything is flowing, everything is aligned, and it just flows. And that was one of those moments where everything was flowing, and I happened to be the guy doing it all for that artist. And that's because I paid attention to everything. So my encouragement to you, what I leave you with today, is pay attention to everything. Don't just learn it, don't just watch YouTube videos, because that's very different than being on set, on site, in studio, and applying it. And if you've watched a YouTube video where someone does something one way and it happens to not be the right way, because guess what? That's what YouTube really is full of, BS and crap. But if you've been on set, on site, or in the studio, and you've watched one of the best at what they do what they do, and you learn that, you learn to do what they were doing, and you could do it when and if ever called for, that could change your entire life. But not only did that one moment in time earn me that artist's respect, which really was huge. That was very, very huge to have his respect, but it also opened up one of the biggest opportunities of my entire life. So those are my thoughts for today, friends. I apologize for the hunting autofocus. I can tell we're recording with the Sigma FP today. We are blocked off on the face. We are on one spot, but it still hunts all the time. That's the beauty of the Sigma FP autofocus. Don't ever use it. I just had it handy, and we are running audio through one of my favorite shotgun mics of all time, especially for spoken word. I have recorded a lot of spoken word albums with these mics, the Audio-Technica AT897, running through the Beachtek DXA Micro Pro Plus, the USB Type 2C chargeable one. And the preamps are great. It requires very little post-processing. The image that you're seeing is the color profile powder blue on the Sigma FP. And I do have a variable ND filter on here. We are 3 stops to the left. So we are 3 stops underexposed because that's just the way I like it. And you, go do what you like. Go run with it. Go create something. And go fucking make a name of yourself. Alright friends, I'll catch you next video.